Hey, this is Cam Clarke, and you're watching Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. Don't go away.
Great.
Kaboom.
One more time. Can we do that again?
Yeah, of course.
I bet we can.
What is the line again?
Just introduce yourself, and you're watching Tuned In with Jim Cummings.
Hey, everybody, this is Cam Clarke, and you are watching Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. Stay where you are.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tuned In with Jim Cummings. Oh, producer Chris and I are very excited today because one of my very oldest pals in the business, actually he's one of my very youngest pals. However, I've known him for a good long time. His name is Cam Clarke. You know him there Come on,
What?
give it
Cam
up.
Clarke is here?
Yes. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
What camera do I look into? Where is everybody?
Your camera's here to the...
All right. Oh, okay. But I
Man.
look at my buddy Jim here.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for
so
having me. It was
glad
such a
you're here.
treat when I
Well,
got the request from you guys.
We've been trying to track you down for eons, sort of. Okay, no, we're buddies. I'm kidding, but it's so great to have you here. It is so great to
Thank
have
you
you
so
here
much.
because there are old friends and good friends, and you are a good old friend.
Indeed.
And I don't even know where to start because
Well, let's start with when we met.
we've
How about
never
when we
worked
met?
together. You see, however, yeah. How about yes? And the fact is, when I first started, I don't know. It was around the
an old veteran.
Yes. Well, more on that later.
What year did you start?
It was 883 or 4-ish.
Oh, so
And
just
then-
a minute after me.
yeah. So, but the thing is, I knew you first as a member of the King family.
Did you watch when you?
Yeah,
Did
well,
you
my
see it?
parents did.
Parents force their children.
And so
to
then
watch.
I watched. And I got to jump ahead to this, segue to this. Years later, there was a show called The Wonder Years. Right on cue. That was a good reply. And I was sitting there watching it, and they were watching on The Wonder Years, if you remember that.
Oh yes.
Yeah, exactly. They were watching the King family on TV.
And you know how they had that?
How?
Because I was with a Loop group. That was your friends know what Loop Group is. You give it a little bit to them.
Loop group.
Loop Group is after a film is finished and in post-production where they clean up the sound and the picture, do all of that. Actors come in, voiceover actors, to do everything from the fight, the fight grunts or vampire, zombie stuff,
Sure.
all of that. And so I was doing all this stuff for Wonder Years, and they said, we got this TV scene, and I went,
Oh,
what year?
please.
What year is your show right now?
oh man.
And I said, well, if you must know, do you know who I am?
yeah.
And they went, oh, that would be perfect. How do you remember that episode? I totally forgot about
it
that.
popped up. It just popped up in my brain.
Yeah.
It's at the most inappropriate times, I'll remember the most inappropriate things. However, every now and then, a blind dog finds a bone. I'm glad you were here
But
to
while
watch.
you're speaking to the King family, can I do the shameless plug
Oh, here we go.
right now? Okay. Extreme close-up.
Time for a shameless plug.
I've been for about 4 years now. I have been working on a book on the family, a big coffee table book, and it's 100 years of photography and memoirs from one man's family, my grandpa, which started in vaudeville, and then the King sisters. They
Of course.
started
Yes, that's
in radio, then big band, then bop. They changed their sound. Went a different way. They thought they were old news. So they changed their sound, and the guy over at Capitol Records said, we can't use your name because you're 40 years old now. So that's never changed, the thing about being too old, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So he submitted this demo as this new girl group he's found. And Capitol went, oh my God, we've got to sign them up. And he went, okay, here's the one thing I lied about. And found out it was the Moms, and they, like Esquire called them best new up-and-coming group. Is that hilarious?
Oh, wow, that's great.
And then the family started in the 60s. And the book goes through then to my career And so it's 100 years of photography and memoirs of the entertainment business.
Jeez.
So that's a little long for a elevator plug, but
No, that's
you got it.
There, not many people can make that statement.
Coming up for Christmas.
I can think of one, and he's you.
And as long as I'm being a proud papa,
Yes.
my cousin, who's actually my cousin's child, whose name is Will Butler, was part of Arcade Fire, which was a huge indie rock band.
Sure.
And this, I won't use a date because who knows when this will air. He's nominated for 2 Tonys because he did the music for a Broadway show that's like the most nominated show over there right now called Stereophonic. Anyway, it's like, it's yet another generation. I'm so proud of him.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, how many? 4 generations
Well, Grandpa,
in the business.
Mom, us,
You and
and Will, and a couple others that are still in. So yeah, four generations,
4 generations.
starting in the early 20s.
Wow.
Takes the Osmonds 15 years to pull that off.
That's right.
And
Right.
you managed to do it in 80 or something. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What? I mean, who can say that? I mean, besides you.
I'd
many.
be hard pressed to think of anybody who has
That's
that many.
really cool.
I mean, you got the Barrymores,
Yeah.
but not with the scope, because within the family, I also have chapters like I'm a step out chapter. Alvino Ray, my uncle, was like inventor of the steel guitar, and he has his whole bit.
Ray was
Yes.
your uncle.
And Jim Conkling, my uncle, who founded Warner Brothers Records and discovered the Everly Brothers, right? And then another uncle was a famous musician, a pianist who played with, Clooney and Bing Crosby and blah, blah, blah. So there's these side things so that tentacles kind of reach all over the place. And I got the idea from this because a coffee table book on Bob Mackie came out. We were his first series. We didn't wear things like Cher and
Whoa.
and Margaret wore.
You have to explain who Bob Mackie is.
Okay, Bob Mackie is like, if you look in the dictionary under fashion for television,
Astonishing. Yeah.
Bob Mackie is the guy. He dressed Cher, Carol Burnett, Diana Ross. I mean, all the sexy, glitzy, all that stuff. Even did Elton John.
He was kind of king of fabulous.
Oh, he totally was.
King of fabulous.
And so
That's
he
not
had
a bad
this,
title.
I think I'm going to change the title of my book to King of the Kings of Fabulous, right?
You heard it here first.
So we had this coffee table book come out, and
You're going to need a really big table.
Oh yeah, it's like the size of the studio.
Wow.
And there was one page on us, and the guy who wrote it said something that was kind of snarky, I thought, about, they were on the air for one season, then they disappeared into the unemployment line, which kind of sort of didn't happen.
We could probably have his ass kicked for you.
Yeah, I'll get his name. I'll
Get his name.
I'll get his name, and y'all can join in this.
Just edit that part out about kicking his ass. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Hey,
So
gosh.
anyway, as long as we're here.
Geez, wow. No kidding.
So I went, well, there is more to tell. So I decided to write it down, and we'll see if we'll raise a flagpole and see if anybody salutes.
Wow. I've heard of that before. That's wonderful.
I didn't make it up.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, God bless you. Well, here's to you.
Thanks.
That's good stuff. It's nice to have those irons in the fire.
Yeah, but sometimes they are in the fire for so long.
Well, they're getting hotter.
Yeah, indeed it is.
They're getting hotter. See that? Always
good.
look at the bright side of life.
If I could whistle anymore, I'd do that part.
Yeah.
Life of Brian.
Oh, never mind. That was terrible. Anyway, okay, delete that too. I was thinking about the various things that we could talk about. Fortunately, I left my notepad over there, but I remembered what I wrote. And one cool thing that I have to say is that I didn't know back then when I started. You and I started in voiceover. You had a career way before that, but when I started, this was it for me. And thank you, Lord. But I said, well, gosh, how do you do that? And they said, well, you better take a course. I said, oh. course. As in what? They go, voiceover. And I go, oh, of course. Well, I never heard of it. Yeah, okay. So I went to Burbank. At the time, I think it was in Burbank. Yes, it was.
You're talking
Bob
about
Lloyd,
Sue's
the
at,
voice,
at Bob Lloyd's.
yeah. Andrea Romano and Sue Blue, two ladies that Cam and I worked for only about 1,000 times each.
Yeah, they were the directors with a company. There wasn't a ton of them, and they were two of the top ones.
Oh, absolutely.
Chris and Wally.
Absolutely.
And,
Wally Burr and Gordon.
Yeah,
Gordon Hunt,
yeah.
the great Gordon Hunt. It was a very, very small community at the time. And apparently it was impossible to break into. Fortunately, you and I had no idea that it was impossible.
I say that all. How'd you get into it?
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's so hard. I went, I didn't get that part of the instructions that it was hard. I know that sounds really like I don't know what it sounds like, but
it sounds like something.
it sounds like something, and I didn't know it was hard.
Well, plus everybody and their congressman and dog did not have a home recording studio.
no,
You had to go in.
You had to
be in Burbank,
L.A. or New York.
and then
But the
you
animation was all here.
All here. So, fortunately for you and I, we didn't know it was impossible to break into,
And
so
it was,
we did.
as you said, it was a small group. And
Oh yeah,
if we didn't get the job, we knew who did. And I remember we'd go to Bob Lloyd's. That's a big casting place where a lot of the auditions happen. And we were like all buds. And in the lobby, while we're waiting for our time, our slot, whatever, it was like a party.
yeah.
And I can remember them coming out of the Sarai, the speakeasy door, and they go, guys, will you keep it down out there? We're trying to record.
Yeah,
and
a
we're all
bunch of
going,
voiceover people.
giggling.
Quiet. Yeah, that works. They just, nobody cares. We just touretting away and doing
And
whatever.
nowadays, you don't have that community because everyone's recording from all over the country or whatever. But
All over their house.
I so cherish that we came up in the days when we did to be a part
Same
of
here.
that.
It's a camaraderie, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
I mean, it really, really is. It's maybe not quite like being through a war together, but bloody close, and through a very fun one.
Well, some of Wally's sessions could be
Well, that's true.
going through a war.
Yeah, and he'll tell you all about it. I want to say that the first time, I'm trying to think of the very first time that we worked together in the booth. And I don't think it was the Raisins because we had done.
No, we'd known each other.
Yeah, we'd known each other
Before
for
that.
certain. Would it have been?
Well, I could have been
Were you
guesting
in and out of
or
Darkwing maybe once or
wasn't
twice?
yeah,
Could be.
once or twice. On
Yeah,
Darkwing.
once or twice. Darkwing Duck, by the way, the terror that flaps in the night.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, because at the time, see, I ended
I
up.
think that was our first time on the same series as regulars was
That could be.
California Raisins.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. And we were in charge of being the two token white guys.
That's
Which
right.
was
oh,
fun,
can I share that
please.
story? So remember the era, or edit this out.
Yeah. Or the error.
The error. Our two brothers in that show, the amazing Brian Stokes Mitchell and Dorian Harewood.
Yes.
Two amazing actors and singers. Who are also African Americans, right? Jimmy and I booked the job, and do you remember this?
Oh,
and
yeah, I know what
someone
you're gonna say.
upstairs, whoever said, well, we can't have those two white guys.
Yeah,
there.
we had the job, and they said, he said, what do these clowns look like anyway? Who are these guys?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jim and that's Cam. They go, the hell is going on around here?
Right. So they had us re-audition without our names. It was like, okay, here's audition number 17.
Good old 17.
17.
I remember him. He sounded
And
like you.
we got it. We got it again.
Yeah. Do you remember what you sang
What we sang?
for the audition?
Oh, for the audition. Yes.
the audition.
Wow. Actually, I do.
Me too.
Go.
No,
on the
I
count of
asked
three.
you for. Oh,
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
I
Dancing
can't
in
get
the
next
street.
to you. Well, I figured because the first time I auditioned, I did Ain't That Peculiar. You do me wrong, but still I'm crazy about. And so, okay, that was good. And got that job. Next. So I figured, damn it, I'm gonna do a Temptation song. And I Can't Get Next to You. And for those
And we did in the show,
people
too.
out there, yes, we did. And those of us out there who are not familiar with the Temptations, I Can't Get Next to You, each one of the Temps had a lead line. I can turn the gray sky blue. I can make it rain whenever I want it to. I can do it. It's too high right now. Anyway, I did them all. And except I couldn't harmonize at the end. I was stuck. I was still stuck by myself. Now I figured that this way, wherever they want to put me, I hope I'll fit in. And
Yeah, and I just did Dancing in the Street and in Streets. Calling out around the
That's right.
world. Are you ready for
Yeah,
a
that's
brand
right.
new beat?
And you were bebop,
I was like the Michael Jackson of the group. Yep, that's me.
and I was AC,
Right?
always cool. And let's see, Dorian. So I'm gonna
How
try
do you
to
remember this?
I don't
Who
apparently.
played who?
Brian wasn't me, so I don't remember it. No, but Dorian was Stretch.
Yeah.
I think Brian was just like Cool Breeze or something. He was very cool, but I remember him doing the Marvin Gaye duets with Gail.
I have a story about this that was kind of put me in a self-doubting place. I was having like intonation problems. And I was just having a hell of a time getting it there. And I found they started taking my step outs away because it was just taking too long. And I was so.
No, when was
still-
this?
During Raisins.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was so intimidated by you three amazing vocalists. I try to match your groove, your blue-eyed soul and their soul. And here's Mr. King family, kid.
well, that's true.
In your Easter bonnet.
Yeah.
But so they started taking them away, and it became the self-fulfilling prophecy that, that the more they took it away, the more I tried harder. So I was having a lot of doubt with my singing. Flash forward to when you got me Lion King, and I was to sing the theme song. And I'm nervous. I'm still carrying this thing from the Raisins on my shoulders.
The theme song for the show for the
for
series.
Lion King, for the series. No, for the second movie.
Second movie. Well, that
And
way you didn't have any pressure on you.
well, but no, it was I see.
Enormous.
You see,
How
sarcasm.
about enormous?
Because I'm there with Hans Zimmer,
Yeah.
and so I
He's
start.
a fledgling conductor and composer.
Yeah,
For those of
little
you who may
green.
not know,
Yeah. Google him,
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer.
he's the Hans Zimmer of music.
He's the Hans Zimmer of Hans Zimmers.
Yes.
So I'm starting to sing this song, and my intonation, my pitch thing, so I'm flat or sharp, and I just can't land it. And he goes, Cam, come into the booth. I'm not going to try and imitate his accent, so
Yeah,
I'll leave that
right.
to you. And he just said, you got this. You were chosen because we like you. We like what you do. You just need to get out of your own way, which is life philosophy. If we
Yeah,
could
that
just
applies.
get out of our way,
That
right?
applies to more than one area, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does.
And he had, of course, I was such a fan and in awe of this man, and he said it, and it clicked. And you have to adopt this philosophy. Well, what's the worst thing that happens? Worst thing is they may replace you, but nobody dies.
yeah. It's only just
Except my
so
career.
bad. It's only just so bad, yeah. Except
So
for the
it-
residuals.
Yeah.
Right.
And he got me my confidence back, and I'll always be grateful. I mean, it was simple words, but the timing or whatever lining up for him to say that, to have a man like that say, you got this. You're not an accident being
Yeah,
here.
you didn't just walk in.
So that was a game changer for me, singing in cartoons. And
That's so nice.
Can you expand on, you said Jim got you the part in Lion King. Can you expand on that story?
Oh, well, there you have it.
Do you want to start?
Sure. They, at the time, Rick Dempsey was head of character voices over at Disney Character Voices. And the thing that they're designed to do is to make sure, for instance, if they recast Pinocchio right now, they'd have to go back to 1942, 41, and make sure that someone sounded exactly like that Pinocchio, because that was Pinocchio. That was the first one.
Yeah.
That was it. That's no getting around it. And that carries through to this day, and obviously, certainly through The Lion King.
And this department, all they do, is make sure their iconic characters do not sound different than they did in 1942 or 1982
That's
or
right.
2002.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that way, you know, if you go down through the archives, you go to Disney Plus, watch a movie from here to there. This character pops up once every 10 years. It might not even be the same person, but it'll sound like the same person.
Yeah.
And that is key. And
Cool.
I really, really appreciate them doing that. Not all the big guys do that.
And in those days anyway, you were there all the time because of how many iconic characters you were now being, and to this day still doing. You're still doing Pooh, and Tigger.
Oh yeah, here and there. Whenever they call, I'll be there.
Well, when we're goofing around, before the show starts or whatever, we're all telling jokes and what'd you do this week or whatever it is. When I started doing the business, I started doing commercials, I decided to gather some voices of men about my age that I could, like on a hamburger spot or a Coca-Cola thing or whatever. Which of these famous people should I channel? And I did. And
that's a great idea.
Matthew Broderick is spooky on. The others are just the manner of. I used John Travolta, Robbie Benson, and believe it or not, Sly Stallone.
Okay, we're going to have to hear that.
Yeah, well, I've said they're not impersonations except for Broderick.
But it's Toon'd. It's Toon'd, right? Attitude.
Yeah, and because, we do, our New York thing, often in our spots,
Yeah, we do.
And the first time, when I first started in the business, Disney also had a department where they would do, when we were growing up, they had these LPs that were illustrated, and it would be Cinderella or Bambi or whatever.
That's right.
Big, beautiful books, and LP covers, but there was a book inside them, and you'd flip these giant pages, and you'd read along, and
there would be a chime.
Chime, and turn the page. Well, they were still doing this, and I did Peter Pan and a couple of the other regular ones. And then they decided, I don't know how long this idea lasted, if it made any money, but they made an LP of the movie War Games. I don't know how many movies but we were all sound-alikes.
Matthew Broderick and Helen Hunt.
It wasn't Ali Sheedy and Matthew Broderick. It was Bobby Block, Samantha Paris.
Yeah.
And me. She was Ali doing that surfer thing. And I was Matthew. And, it's an audition. And I start just messing around with Matthew's voice. And Jennifer, how can anyone get a D in home ec? Yes, that's from War Games, ladies and germs.
Wow.
And then I would just mess around.
See, that's not even See, he probably can't talk while you're doing that because you're channeling him. You're
that's right.
Standing there. Matthew Broderick went, I believe I'll have...
And he kind of convulses. And
Cam Clarke did it again.
Yeah.
That was... That's good stuff.
And so somewhere in his brain, he's able to hold on to this.
To this. Oh, right. Yeah.
And one of the things
this little tidbit
that everybody, when you first meet Jim, the first thing you remember when you're a new person is that dude always has his drumsticks with him.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and he's always got his pad, and it's just so much nervous energy, but he's just
yeah.
And you were always doing that.
Really annoyingly, sorry.
No, you're like everyone, that new guy with the drumsticks.
Totally tolerating me, I guess.
No toleration. You were so freaking talented. Even with your drumsticks, and because you knew when to set them down, like when the red light goes on.
Yeah, that's true.
But and I
God,
could
that's
just
funny.
picture over at Rick's office at Disney Character, and I imagined. I mean, and you can tell that part, but I had this.
Yes.
You had your drumsticks going when he says, "We need to." Matthew doesn't want to come back. We need to find something.
Yeah.
So
well,
you go from there.
I remember. Yeah, I was there. I don't even remember why I was there, but I was there for this reason or that reason. And we're talking. And he's a good buddy. He's a pal. And I would say, so what's keeping you busy? He goes, you mean what's driving me crazy? And I said, oh, okay. He goes, well, we're trying to get. I got to get a sound alike for Matthew Broderick. We're doing a Lion King read-along. We're doing a Lion King sequel. We're doing a Lion King. And I said, oh, geez. Well, you then call Cam Clarke. He said, huh? I said, call Cam Clarke. Just call him. yeah, and maybe he did while I was there. I guess it's been a while ago. But I said, just trust me on this. Just do it. He'll show up. There's a slim chance. I'll tell you what. I almost guarantee you he'll charge you $10 less than Matthew Broderick. There's a slim chance because Disney hates it when they save money, but they do it anyway.
I know, it's so giving.
Yeah, they
to
do.
themselves.
Yeah,
and
but
I remember when
it was that. That's how big it was.
I know because I remember you sharing that with me, and I remember when I got the call that Character Voices, want to hear you do Lion King. And I guess, I don't know if I knew yet that was you, or maybe Rick told me. Maybe you did. I can't remember. It's been a few years.
Yes.
Paw.
Yes.
And I really think it wasn't an audition because you'd already given this. I think it was like, come on in.
I just told him, call.
Just go say this, say.
Call him up, tell him where to
why
be.
can you not want to be a queen? That's like saying you don't want to be a lion. We are all part of the circle of life. Okay, what you doing Tuesday?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I think you.
Yeah.
You got me that because I really think it was just him then signing off. It was just like, we'll get him over here. We'll just do a little tap dance and then set the date.
And then they hit gold. They had gold. Nothing wrong with getting in some of that Lion King groove, right?
Yeah. Of
now,
course.
did they have you sing anything? I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
But as obvious as you've heard us saying, Matthew didn't want to come back.
No.
So I spent, as you know, how slow animation, especially a feature, how long it takes to do the vocal tracks before, animation, blah, blah, blah. It's long process.
It is.
Well, I was working with them over on Doc Stage at Disney.
Sure, yeah.
For maybe 7 months or better, more than a couple of months. And I don't know which actor it was, whether it was the meerkat or the
Timon and
Pumbaa. One of the actors.
Nathan Lane, Ernie Sabella.
Ernie, I don't know why he felt like he needed to do this, but he kept pounding Broderick saying, dude, the residuals on this are going to be insane. Just do it.
Oh, he's fine.
So I'm recording my umpteenth session, and okay, here, Cam, he's coming back, and I'm like, I was so disappointed. It's just like, oh, I'm going to be the lead in a Disney. As kids, it's like, and he came back, and intellectually, I'm like, he created the role.
Sure.
He changed his mind. Okay.
But
they said they
oh, that's great. I do that all the time. It's like, oh, good for you.
Yeah. And they said, but we like your singing better. So the Hans Zimmer session, we'd already done
that. Works.
So speaking of residuals, I did manage to make it into the pay. Paymobile.
Yeah, you did.
And it's a song.
The thing is, if you're singing a song, A, you get music rights, and B, is it in the movie? Oh yeah, that's right, it is, isn't it? Ding ding ding.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it's a wonderful song that Hans wrote. And sometimes when we go at the conventions, people come up and this is a question I have for you. This is totally a sidetrack, but I've always wondered with fans how when they come up to the table, I mean, when they see all the stuff I've done, most of that I created. We've created, but you, like me, have taken over the job on some things.
Different ones, yeah.
Do you? I mean, well, obviously with Pooh, they wouldn't think you're the original because that started so long ago.
I was
But
8.
Lion King, I feel like I'm like stealing candy from a baby if I don't tell them. They go, "You're Simba," and I go, "Well, yes, but let me explain."
Yes.
And I go through this thing
yeah.
because I feel guilty.
Sure. Yeah. No, I get that.
Do you ever do that if you have a newer character? Do you say, well, in case you're thinking this is the one that you grew up on, it's like with He-Man.
Yeah.
I was a different incarnation of that. Or
that's right.
doing Snoopy, I have people of a
remember.
certain age going, wait, I didn't know Snoopy talked.
I was there when you got Snoopy.
You were?
I was there because you came in to Andrea. This was one of the things I was going to tell you. When we, Sue Blue and Andrea Romano, we took their class,
their animation class.
First thing I kind of ever did. And you were there. And I think it went for 4 weeks, maybe 6, once a week. And we'd go there and we're talking about, did you get an audition, this and that? And you walked in one day and said, well, I'm Snoopy. I went, wait, what? Yeah, and Snoopy doesn't talk. He does now. Snoopy doesn't make a sound. He goes, oh, he's gonna.
They animated. Well, most of you, or many of you, have heard of the Broadway show "You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown." There was another one just called Snoopy the Musical, and Charles Schultz, his team, they were going to, which is okay. I can't believe I can't think of his name. Cast Your Fate to the Wind.
Yes, he was.
That's okay. Well, we'll get back.
Everybody
to
just text it
on that.
On that.
So people come up to the table and go, "I don't think Snoopy's talked," and I have to go through this rigmarole.
No, that's not right. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, they animated the Broadway show Snoopy the Musical, and I have to go through this little thing, and sometimes they go, "Oh." And sometimes it's just like, well, I'm a Snoopy fan, and anything edible Snoopy.
When you laughed, you sounded like Snoopy. I'm just saying.
A regret I have
Yeah.
is I was probably in my late 20s when I got that. I didn't know I got it while we were in class together.
Yeah.
One thing, when we got into the business, most of the people that I know that we came up with, doing voiceovers, maybe not you, I don't know yours, but it was an accident. They were on their way to be a rock musician, or they were on their way to be a TV star or a whatever. Most of us will go, I didn't even know it was a thing. And it's like I slipped on a banana peel and ended up in this incredible career.
Yeah.
So most of the characters I've done, I have created. Charles Schultz and Peanuts is what, like the Ninja Turtles, is what I was obsessed with. I had every sleeping bag and, sweatshirt and the pennants and the calendar, anything.
Yeah.
I had it. So
that's
when
great.
people at the shows, they say, what's your favorite character? I say, it's not one of my most memorable. I mean, it's not like iconic per se, but I got to be the voice of my childhood. And I regret to this day, I was young, and you think everybody's going to live forever. Schultz wasn't hands-on. He was living up in Santa Paulo.
Right. I never met him.
And exactly why I didn't take advantage of this opportunity to meet this man that I idolized. Every day was, after school, I'm reading his books or whatever. I never went up. I never said, I'm the guy you picked. Can you guys set up a thing? I'll drive up the coast. I want to meet my guy. And I never did it.
Yeah.
And then he passed away.
He's been
but
around for a while.
it's probably the thing I'm most happy about as far as roles go is getting to be part of that universe.
No doubt about it. Well,
Did you want to do voiceovers, or was it an accident for you?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you were a
don't wanna
musician
repeat.
first, right? Weren't
Oh
you?
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I certainly was. But I remember, and I don't want to repeat this too much, but because I've said it before. But when I was 5 years old, we were sitting watching Jack Benny program, and Mel Blanc was on there, and my dad leans forward. He goes, "You see this guy, this character right here?" I go, "Yeah." He's the one who does that Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all the Taz and the quacking and all that stuff. He's the guy that does voice. And I went, wow. Well, he doesn't have to stand in the corner, does he? And so I did. I'm telling you, at the age of 5, I said, all right, well, I'll do that. Okay.
Wow.
And that was it. And so then I did.
I didn't even know, again, I didn't know it was a thing. And when my
I didn't
on-camera
either.
career didn't manifest as a grown-up, I was still present enough to go, I want to be in entertainment or be an
Sure.
illustrator, as I used to design the boxes for our demo tapes. All those boxes on the wall at Bob Lloyd's.
You're kidding.
I was a designer for a lot of people's stuff.
Jeez.
Where
Had
was
I
I-
known
where
that,
was I
I would
going
have
with
had a
this?
much better one.
Where was I going? What
well,
were we just
your
saying?
showbiz entry. You didn't know you were going to do this.
so
but
the on-camera thing wasn't working out. So I went, well, what else is there to do here? So I said, I'll try theater or musicals or modeling or this thing I've heard of,
tap dancing.
voice over this over the voice thing. What, I don't know what that means.
whatever that is. Yeah.
And I crashed my first audition.
What was it for?
A show that I did some. It was dubbing. It was anime before it had a name.
Oh wow,
Wasn't called this. This was back in the
Japanimation. I think
yes.
that's what they called it.
Oh, did they really?
I think.
And the big hit was called Robotech. And like kids who are now in their 50s, kids in their 50s, which aren't us,
Yes.
like my nephew says, I would race home from school every day, to watch that, like kids would say about Ninja Turtles,
That's right.
So that was my first one, and that was an audition where I couldn't get a time. So, it's one of those cliche, like you see in a movie, where I found out where the studio was, and I went, yeah, hi, Cam Clarke, 2:30. So she went, well, I don't see you here. And I went, how would I be here? And she got kind
That's
of
pretty good.
flustered. I went, well, yeah, I mean, I was what I was told to.
So do you
be
want to
here. She
do it
went,
just
well,
right?
I'll work you in. I'll just
There we
work you
go.
in.
See, that's good. That's top-notch showbiz
And I didn't
bullshit.
know to not do that. Like you're saying about, nobody told me it was going to be hard. And I just went, well, let's go in the side door. Cam,
Yeah.
you can't crash an audition.
Yeah.
They'll toss you to the
so much for
street.
that.
I didn't know not to do that.
Well, good. We're all
But
glad.
you knew from that age.
Well, yeah, because I knew.
Wow.
It just seemed like a good way to go, and I'd seen Mel Blanc doing a few things, and maybe Paul Frees doing one, and I knew later on as time went by that Sterling Holloway did the narration on Peter and the Wolf,
Right.
and then he came out with Winnie the Pooh, obviously. And I can remember, I'd be sitting around playing Monopoly with my brother and sister, and I would decide to buy. I believe I will have Park Place, said Pooh Bear, and so and I would buy Park Place as Winnie the Pooh, and never in 10,000 years. In fact, I'll be brief with this story, but years and years later, I was still in my 20s. And down there eating at a luncheon counter in Laguna Niguel, California, and I hear this. I see this waitress walk over to the corner and go, "Have we decided what we're going to have, sir?" "Yes, I believe I shall have the chowder." And I went, "Winnie the Pooh," and I got up and I walked across the room, and there was Sterling, and he was sitting there and he had all this white hair sprouting out of his head, and he went. And I went, oh, okay. Sure.
He heard you?
No, he just looked at me, and that was about it. And I was, You will Pooh. What do you do?
Yeah.
So at the time, and Pooh was gone for over a decade or so then, as far as being in
Yeah.
production. And, never in 100 years did I think that years later I would
get
get
to
this
be-
crazy audition and, wound up Pooh and Tigger.
Well, and not unlike you, I would do, as a little kid, I
Mm-hmm.
would do. Now, I'm not an impersonator. I don't claim to be
yeah.
spooky, dead on with stuff, except for Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, I was going to say, except when it counts.
But as a little kid, I would imitate people. So on our
They must have loved that in the family.
well, on our first year in 1965, I'm 7. I open our Halloween episode. They've got the profile of Hitchcock, and I'm going, "Good evening, welcome." Of course, my voice box hadn't dropped, but I'm good evening, welcome to the King Family Show. And then I'm doing Jimmy Durante with "Ha cha cha." Everybody,
Wants to get into the
wants
act.
to get into the act, right? That's the line.
That was the line.
So apparently,
Wow.
I don't remember employing this as a kid, just in my fantasy playing around. But apparently, they went, "Yeah, Cam can, he can do those. Let's get him to try this voice." Da, 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 da. And so training was going on before
Yeah.
we knew we were actually
Yeah, prepping for anything.
prepping for whatever
Yeah.
was to come
That's
20
true.
years later.
Yeah. Wow, it sure did come true.
Yeah,
When a star is born.
exactly.
That is so great. Good for you, buddy. Good for us all. And good for you for being here, everyone out there.
Yeah, thanks for not getting up to go get your cereal.
Yeah.
Well, how about we talk about Ninja Turtles, since obviously you
'Cause
were
we
the voice
haven't-
of Leonardo.
We got enough yet?
Were you
I think
guys
we need
ever
more
in the
turtles.
studio at the same time recording Ninja Turtles? I know you were the voice of Shredder, Jim.
Yeah, I was Shredder.
Oh,
and,
after James passed away, did you? That's right. You took over for him
Shredder.
again.
and,
spooky, spot on.
Yeah, well, but I was also would Leatherhead.
Oh, that's
Down
right.
there,
The alligator.
The Cajun alligator. I'm glad you memorized it. Because, it was funny because for years, and maybe to this day, who knows, whenever they want a Cajun sound, I seem to end up getting the call. Because I was a deckhand on a riverboat, and what some people know, most people don't, is that I got a call for Leatherhead. They said, as usual, it's a swamp critter
Yeah.
that got hit by the gas. Now he's, a humanoid, and he's a bad guy because, did I mention he was a gator? So I thought the very first tugboat that I ever worked on was called the
Did you hear he said
Old
the
Dutch.
very first tugboat? Said no one ever.
Oh.
The very first tugboat I worked on.
that I worked. Oh, said no one ever. Well, that's probably true. Well, it wasn't at the steel mill. It was that was before. So it's all prep for. It was research.
Yeah.
No,
Did you write it off?
No, it was yeah. It was actually to keep from starving to death because you get on a tugboat, you can eat that day. You don't have to wait 2 weeks for your paycheck. So now I can eat all I want. But it was great. And he said, "Little boy, what you doing here, you little Yankee college boy?" I said, "Well, I'm not going. I'm not in college. You better go, cause you ain't going to make it out here on these boats. No." I said, "Well, that's okay. I'm actually just kind of hungry." "Okay, good. We're gonna get you down there. Scrub the whole goddamn boat. Shut up." And so and I said, "Oh, okay, good." And then years later, time went on, and they said, when I finally got into business, years later, they said, "Well, we've got an audition for you here for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles." And I said, "Oh man, that's great." They want a Cajun alligator, and I went,
You went, I got this.
"We can do this."
Nailed it.
And to this day, I've said it before, I often wondered if, because it wasn't that long after, if it was on the air and the Turtles came out on Saturday morning. "Hey, little good old what's his name come over there like that. Grandpa, come on in here." Do you know this guy right here? Because I'm telling you, it was a dead-on impression of the guy.
Wow.
And that I have a mini philosophy. If you do a terrible impression of some really famous person, nobody even knows who it is. It's a new character. And if
Yeah.
you do a dead-on impression of a character, crazy person that you met, no one knows who it is. It's a new character.
Michael Bell was my very first coach. Mm-hmm. And he was a terrific teacher because
Hell of a guy.
he would not sugarcoat anything.
No.
Which is, I don't want you to just say, good job, Cam. Maybe, no, just tell me it's not, because he would go, no, go again.
You're
Blah, blah, blah,
scaling the heights of adequacy.
No. And it was either he or Sue who said, while you're choosing your iconic voice structures, like I said, with Broderick or Stallone or Travolta, whatever, they said, I know you're a guy, but choose some women. It's along the same lines of what you've said. Because me, and of course some of these names y'all aren't going to even know what they are, but it was like Hermione Gingle.
Oh, yeah.
On your voice, it's a new character. It's not her or Katharine Hepburn or whatever. You're going to take the essence of these, Betty Davis, whatever, these iconic sounds that these women created. But now that it's on your voice,
It's a new critter.
it's a new critter.
Yeah.
So you're not just limited to
That's great
using the
advice.
energy and elements of famous men that you might keep, up here rolling around.
Sure.
But use the other sex as well.
Oh, that's so true.
And you get some good different options when you think outside of
That's true.
outside of
That
the
is
box
so
like
true.
that.
So what was the inspiration for Leonardo's voice?
Well, we all four of us auditioned for all of them.
Sure.
And we got to the session, and they didn't know. They knew that Rob Paulson was going to be Raphael, and Barry Gordon was going to be Donatello. They didn't know whether Townsend Coleman or they didn't know who's going to be Leonardo or Michelangelo.
But
so they said,
knew something.
Well, let's start. They literally flipped a coin,
Oh, come on.
literally, and went, okay, first run through. Okay, let's see. Okay, first run through, Cam, you're Leo, and Townie, you're Mikey. And then so we finish up the first run through, because I wanted to be Michelangelo, because I'm from serfdom.
That's true.
I'm a ground zero for this voice because I went to school, with these people, right? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's
You
like
totally did.
I totally
do?
did. That's very good.
Yeah, totally.
Because North Hollywood High was where I went. I know it wasn't
man.
at the beach, but
Close.
still was,
you could
Santa
smell-
Monica
you could smell it.
adjacent. Oh yeah, we wore our
Totally.
sandals and
Yeah.
and all of that
Huaraches.
stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
and so at halftime, at break time,
At halftime.
I went like, okay, you said we were gonna, the second time we're gonna, switch over, so I could be Michelangelo. They're going, yeah, no, we're fine. I went, well, yeah, but you said, you said we could switch, but it never happened.
Oh, wow.
And it took me a while to get in under the skin of Leonardo because the other three were characters. They were broad. And not that, Leo isn't broad to a certain extent, but he was, pardon the pun, the straight man. And I started...
But you got it anyway.
But I got it anyway with that straight idea.
That's great,
But
man.
so I started trying to slip in some bigger than life superhero. I started to, do kind of with
I was going to say he was kind of
bravado.
he was kind of macho. He's kind
Well-
of he's kind of the can-do guy, right? Don't you
Not
think?
not vocally,
well,
because Sue Blue calls me in on a break. She calls me into the hallway or into the booth. The dreaded booth. Hey, Cam, can you come in here for a sec?
perfect. Everyone wants to hear that.
She goes, "What do you, honey?" Right?
Yes.
Honey, what are you doing?
Okay, honey.
What are you doing? I went, what? She goes, what's with the voice? I went, well, I'm just, trying to make Leonardo a little, have more fun with him like the other guys. And she goes, well, don't.
Perfect.
She said, Leo is the leader, and you need to let them be the circus monkeys. And you are the center square. And it took me a while, but then your ego goes, I'm on board. And you realize this is my job. It's like Rowan and Martin or the Smothers Brothers. I'm the one who sets it up.
You got to be the anchor.
Yeah, I set it up.
You were the anchor man. Yeah.
And
that's great.
But I had to get on board with being okay with not being one of the silly ones. And then on the Tick, which you did many others well, we were together on that.
Yeah.
I got to being Der Fledermaus. I got to employ my superhero sweetness. So it comes around, But the turtle thing, that was my initiation, and what an opportunity that has been.
No kidding.
Jim and I are on the road doing the conventions all the time, and who knew?
All the time, yeah.
And I went kicking and screaming because it sounded just horrible. But Rob Paulson was like, Cam, come on, we can go as a quartet, the four of us, And he finally talked me into it. And now it's 15 years later, we've been doing them.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but had it not been for this convention world, I would think I've had a beautiful career.
Oh, yeah.
But it's in the past. And my name is in the history book of animation, but that's it.
Wow.
You'd look, here's who did the turtles. But the cons have let all of us know we got a shelf life.
Oh, my
and
God.
the folks,
did you say
the kids,
shell life?
we have a shell
Stop
life.
it. Get out of
We have
here.
a shell life, don't you know?
Oh, man.
And the grown-up, they're not kids, but they're kids to us.
Yeah, they
but
are.
They share these stories, as you guys are some of them, about
So
how
true.
important we were and are.
It is so
I would
true.
not, without these shows, I would think, I'm that guy in the book.
I agree. I agree, because, we do, I've said it before, we're in these rooms, we're dark 90% of the time you're alone, and you're doing this, and you're talking to yourself, and maybe someone reads you in every now and then you go away, and then somebody, a year or two later comes up, remember episode number 217B where you did this and that? And I go, no, I don't. Then they'll tell me, and I go, oh, yeah. Well, that was my favorite one. And then it becomes real. Then it's something that, and it's just it's meaningful to me, and I'm sure to you, to know that it's meaningful to someone else.
Ditto. It's exactly what it is. And I have been in tears with some of these folks as often as they are when I hear some of the stories.
Yes.
Unbelievable. And y'all, it's not easy. It ain't work. We're not working in the coal mines. Okay. I get it. But you are available to these people, and they come to you with all kinds of different energies and needs or desires and stuff. And I did learn one thing about my own energy, because I'm so exhausted at these.
Yeah.
And so, y'all, you can, if you ever meet me at one of the shows, you can go, I found I was feigning humility.
Oh.
It's like they come, oh, Cam, I just, every Saturday morning, blah, 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 and I would go like that. I would literally go, oh, thank you. I'd cock my head and go, thank you. That's phony. You've paid money to stand in front of me, and I need to be more respectful of myself and them to not do this act. So then I just started acknowledging, you're here on purpose, as am I, and I would just be sincere and go, thank you very much, as opposed to, it was. And I found I had more energy because I was being honest. He knows why you're here.
Oh yeah,
I know why I'm there. So just be real. Just be real.
When people come up to me and say, it was so wonderful, I thought you were the greatest thing ever. You're damn right. Yeah, you better believe it. Now, here, I'm going to sell you something. No, I'm just kidding. But
one of my best
but it's
lines
fun.
that in all of our panels that I use and gets a huge laugh is guy came up just a few shows ago, said, "Oh, Mr. Clarke, I just love the Turtles. I want you to know you are my second favorite turtle."
Perfect.
Right?
Yes.
It gets a big laugh.
Yeah. Oh man.
So now I like at shows. I'll go, okay, raise your hand if Leonardo is your second favorite turtle.
Well, see, if I'm so cynical, let me know if I'm in the top 4.
Speaking of
I
that,
steal that way if you win.
you go. Oh, that's
Because I think you're
I'd be in the top
you're in.
4.
You've got to be.
But speaking of orders, lists, there was a guy that took all the Simbas. It was actually pretty beautiful if you want to check it
All
out
the
online.
Simbas?
In every language that movie has been
my.
translated into.
Oh, I've seen
And he
those.
took the same phrase from my song. As you go through life, you'll see there is so much that we don't understand. Whatever little bit of the song it was, it's just a loop. And then the same picture goes by, and it's in French. It's
my gosh.
in Hindi.
Tagalog.
It's in Filipino. It's in Tagalog. It's in every tongue, and they've changed. The lips match the language.
Whoa.
It's a beautiful watch, and the singers are in my, it's like you had to sing in this key.
That's right. That's right.
So they're all in my range.
In the
But
timbre.
guess what? He listed them. Who's the best?
Here we go. Who dat?
The original singer of the song is number 6. Yes.
And you were number 6?
Yes. And
Please tell me you were number 6. Okay.
I
that
was
guy.
number 6. At least I made the top 10.
Yes. Oh, no. It was that? Oh. Well, I've seen that with Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas. And it was flawless. It was gorgeous. And it sounds like one person. And it goes from, English to Russian to Yugoslavian to French to just Portuguese. And it sounds like one person.
Yeah.
When they do that, they really do it well. And I love that. Check that out, y'all. It's definitely worth finding if it's out there.
One thing after I got with the Turtles and the comparisons and stuff and ranking, this Tigger over that Tigger or, whatever. After I got He-Man, the 2002 version, there was this chat online. This was back in, I think, 2002. So all the Goo-Gah that is ruining our lives now wasn't around, the Instagram and the this and the that. But I was raised Mormon, and this conversation starts out with, okay, so Leonardo is a gay Mormon, because everybody also knows what team I bat for.
Sure, yeah.
And they go, well, then is He-Man a gay Mormon? And the guy goes, well, look at those furry underwear that he
without
wears,
saying.
da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, and by the way, he looks fabulous.
And this
Right?
conversation goes back and forth and starts getting
my God.
angry. Like, I have friends that are gay and they're really nice people. Because someone's going, come on, Cam Clarke is gay. Maybe Liquid Snake in Metal Gear Solid. He sounds a bit da-da-da.
Oh,
and this
no,
just
come on.
went on for days with
Jesus.
like, this is my opinion and you can kiss my black ass if you don't literally. That's
man.
a quote.
Oh, wow.
But it was about, be kind to the gays, right?
jeez.
And he's gay, but listen, he can do these heroes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Wow, fancy that.
So it's and that's in my book as well.
That's
but it was
that's never happened in
hilarious.
Hollywood before.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, never mind.
Never mind.
Yeah, it has.
Wait,
yeah,
never mind.
never mind.
But that was hilarious when this conversation with all my characters thrown together started as a joke with the Mormon thing and the gay thing, and then people started piling on, taking it for serious. I've met him, and he's a really nice guy.
So see,
Thank you.
yeah. And I happen to know for a fact that he wears a flannel shirt every now and then.
No, that would be Sue Blue.
Oh, okay. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, man. That's good stuff. Oh, Jesus.
And did you know when we did Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, you remember that? Mm-hmm. I was informed recently by a guy who's at one of the shows that was literally the very last session that they did at the Hanna-Barbera building, that gorgeous mid-century thing over by Universal.
Wow.
Because he was there, he was an artist, and he also had a small part on it. And he said, I remember no one was there, secretaries are all gone, boxes everywhere, except for us and Mark Hamill and BJ.
Yeah.
And Frank.
Wow.
I mean, it was, and I don't remember that, but he says we were the only ones in the building, and it was the last time they hit the red light in that iconic building where everything was done.
How did I not know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did all the Addams Family there. We did all the everything there.
Yeah.
I mean, we did everything there that wasn't Disney. That's how much we did.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, that was, wow. That's kind of a cool thing. Well, thanks for telling us that.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling the world that.
Yeah, now you know.
Now you do know. Yeah, Zombie Island, The Curse of Zombie Island. I've got a poster. Do you have a poster?
I do indeed.
Damn, I was going to sell you mine. Okay.
Is it a first
For
edition?
serious coin. Oh, I got it then.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine. I got it that day. It was in a tube. You get them in a tube, bring them home.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that actually is. I had no idea. I would have thought maybe Flintstone something, kids or.
Well, I'm choosing to believe this fellow
Well,
who told me
Well,
so.
yeah.
And he sent me some little snapshots of us with you with dark hair
yes, that was me.
and me with blonde
Hair. Yes, and more of it, by the way.
Yeah,
But
you still got a
we're
pretty
hanging.
groovy head
I'm
of hair
hanging in there.
going on. Yeah.
I'm hanging in there. Yeah, but it's spray paint. I just. Yeah. What was that? Oh, never mind. A terrible reference. Never mind, folks. Don't be alarmed. Oh, oh my gosh. Well, we have one thing that we do,
Yeah.
right, Chris?
Yes, the voice swap game. So with every guest, we do a voice swap. So it'll go, Jim will do one of his iconic characters, a line that he's known for. And then you'll do the same line of his, but in one of your character voices. So for example, like Pooh will say something, and then you'll take that line and say it in Leonardo's voice, for example. And we'll go back and forth. And then you'll do a line of yours, and Jim will do one.
In any of my characters' voices?
Anyone, your choice, dealer's choice.
And do I see? I'm so nervous with game shows.
Well,
Do I say who the character is, or I just launch into the voice and you
Well, you
believe
could say
me
if-
that they're a character?
Yeah, just introduce the character. Why not?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so
What do we win? Is there a prize? Is the clock running if I get so many under 30 seconds or 60
You
seconds?
get to go home.
Ah, what a great gift.
you win a huge prize. Okay,
Before you start that, I know we're going to have to divide this into 13 episodes.
probably.
Townsend Coleman and I met before we met. Before we knew each other, were in the biz. We were both contestants on Super Password. And we both lost miserably. Wow. And we were in the holding tank because they tape a bunch of shows at once
Yes,
in a whole
sure,
week
sure.
or 2 week, whatever. And you're just sitting in this tank.
Waiting to see if you get on.
Waiting to see if we get on. And we just went, boing, 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 boing. And from that show, because Townie's one of my dearest friends outside of work as well.
Sweet guy, yeah.
And we just we commiserated on the fact that we each won $100 and a year's supply of pantyhose and a Mr. Coffee Maker.
Well,
All right, now off to
three
your
out of
game
three.
show.
3 out of 3. Yeah. Well, no, I was on a game show. I was on Tic Tac Toe, and
How'd it go?
pretty doggone good. I won.
Are you gonna upset me right now?
No, I won a box full of rice-a-roni. And a shopping spree for $10,000
Whoa!
on Rodeo Avenue, which is a famous place in
Oh, right,
Heavenly
that's
Hills.
right. Wow.
And,
so you did well.
So I did well. I made it like 2 or 3 shows in, and Dink Winkerson, Wink,
Him too.
Winked Martindale.
Weinkenstein.
Wink Martindale. Hey, how you doing? Him.
Yeah.
He was a cool guy, by the way.
Yeah.
He said hello.
Well, good for you.
I have to tell my game show experience.
Oh,
now,
let's hear
if
it.
we're talking about game
Yeah,
shows.
by the
I was
way.
on Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady.
Ba-dum-bum.
And I made it to the final round.
He didn't say, what's our Make a Deal? Because that's how young he is.
Oh, no, it's Let's Make a Deal, isn't it?
No, but I mean the original guy.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Monty Hall.
Monty Hall.
Yeah.
Monty Hall.
So Wayne Brady has taken over.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Carry on.
Get on the show with my sister was there as well. And I get to the final round, and we had been saying all day in line, like go all the way, like risk it all. Like you're on a game show, go for
What were you
everything.
dressed as?
I was dressed as, it was like a Halloween, like Trojan warrior. It was like just a Halloween costume, and it was like a Trojan warrior. I had like the little skirt on and like the boots and
So
Digging that.
armbands.
somewhere in West Hollywood, a dream came true.
I'm going, love dub.
I still had my long locks,
What are you doing later tonight?
Tell me more.
Okay. We'll let you speak now.
And so at the time, I had won a living room set. It was like a full couch, little ottoman, like 72-inch TV, a trip to Thailand, and a 10-day trip to Thailand, Koh Samui.
Wow.
And $20,000. And then it was some kind of like anniversary thing where they had like another bonus round for the winner. And so I could choose to risk all that for a mystery prize. And the mystery prize, well, I guess it wasn't really a mystery, it was $50,000. And they flew in, it was a commercial break. So they cut to commercial break, and I was looking for my sister in the audience for like reassurance. Like, should I really go for this? Like, should I risk it? And they had flown in this big set piece. So my vision to her was blocked, and I couldn't see her. And I'm trying to look around during the commercial break, and boom, we come back from
Your lucky
commercial.
charm.
And I'm like, okay, well, Wayne, I really want to go to Thailand, and like I really want this living room set. I was in like a 2-bedroom apartment at the time, could really use it, and the $20,000. So I was like, I can't risk it. I can't. So I'm gonna take my stuff and whatever. My chances on the $50,000, I'm not taking it. And all I had to do was pick between envelope 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I had to pick 33% chance of winning it. And they're like, okay, well, just for the viewers, what would you have picked? And the round that got me all those prizes, I had picked door C, A, B, C. So I was like, I picked door C, so I would have gone with envelope 3. And he very dramatically pulls out the envelope, $50,000.
Oh.
And I'm not kidding. I couldn't sleep for like 2 weeks. It made me sick. It made me sick. I was like, no way. I could have had 70 grand and this trip and the living room set.
I did the same thing when I lost on Password. I kept replaying because at Super Password, they had a big board on the wall, and the words you discover are part of a bigger puzzle, And I'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning with a cold sweat going.
Yeah. I was so mad at myself. Like, why didn't I just go for it? I said all day I was just going to go for it all.
At least I got to redeem.
Well, it's easy to, hindsight is 2020.
I know.
I got to redeem it because the King family were celebrities on Singing Family Feud.
Whoa.
Against
Nice.
Sister Sledge.
Oh,
The
gosh.
Lennon sisters.
The Pointer Sisters had to be on there somewhere.
Well, it
Mills-
wasn't the
the
Pointers.
Lennon
It was the
sisters.
Lennons and Sister Sledge and kind of a hodgepodge of the McRae family. Sheila McRae.
Gordon McRae.
He wasn't there. They were split by then. And the daughter who was on Petticoat Junction.
Meredith.
Meredith.
Right.
And Greg Malavy, who was on Mary Hartman. Anyway, I digress. But I made up for my loss because we won the trophy, the King family. So
Damn.
all right, let's play your game.
Nice. Oh, okay.
All right, let's swap it up.
So let's see. Let's go with Darkwing Duck first. And the line is, I am the terror that flaps in the night.
This is Freddie from Barnyard. Say it one more time.
I am the terror that flaps in the night.
I am the terror that what flaps in the night. Ah.
I remember that dude. Well, I can't do that, but okay. Well, that was okay. So now I have to do. I am the. Give me the line again.
It was your line. What do you mean give you the line?
Wait a minute. Oh,
So now it's your turn. Now you give a line.
Now I give him one.
Yes.
Sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
Leonardo's main line in almost every episode is a short one. So let's see what magic you can weave. Okay. We gotta think of something fast.
We gotta think of something fast. That was my Tigger.
I know.
Okay. All right then. Okay, so let's see. Now.
Why don't you do a character from Mutant Ninja Turtles?
That's right. Yeah. Are you prepared?
You're gonna
Be
do
prepared.
Crocodile for me?
I think so. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Let's
I'd
do
say I need to roll up
ahead.
my sleeves, but they're
Yeah,
I don't
there
have
we
them.
go. Let me tell y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make me some turtle soup. Yeah.
How much time do I have to think?
Let me tell y'all what.
How
I'm
about
gonna
Simba?
do.
Simba.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let me tell y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make me some that turtle soup. Yeah.
Kira, let me tell you what I'm gonna did. I'm gonna make you some of that turtle soup. Yeah?
Great.
That's really good. That's not bad at all.
And
Oh,
I
man.
have one request because I'm a huge Metal Gear fan. Can you do?
here we go.
Can you do
Yes.
Liquid?
Give me another line. But choose one of your happy characters.
No, you give him a line of
No,
Liquid.
you give me one, and I'll have to
Oh.
come up with somebody.
Okay. Oh, that's my water broke. Ah, see how
Ba-dum-bum.
quick? See how I did that? Okay. Not yet, Snake. It's not over yet. Did you like my sunglasses?
Wow. Who am I doing that to? Should that?
Shall I repeat it?
No, but I mean, which character should respond?
Let's go with good old Pooh Bear.
Okay. Not yet, Snake. It's not over yet. Did you like my sunglasses?
Oh, and scene. Oh, baby, what a
That's good stuff. Oh, you are the man with the plan. God love you. Thank you so much.
That was great. Thank you very
I'm
much.
tickled, yeah. Hey,
Oh.
thanks everybody, and Jimmy boy, thank you so much for letting me come on and talk. You know what? You should have rocking chairs, though. We're at an age where we should tell those stories. Well, you know, in
Well,
1987, I remember.
I do too.
Have you ever told them how? Well, it's just a high gravity day. Back when we started auditions, and then promise we're done. I promise we're done. They would literally, in the audition, your auditions would be on a reel-to-reel recorder. And your agent or the person that was recording you would literally have their razor blade and they'd cut the tape. This is just for audition. This isn't even for the job. Even on an audition, you go, blah, 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 and you screw up and you continue and you go,
Yes.
take the razor blade and
Cut out the
goes-
oops.
right.
Yeah.
Brave new
So
world.
true. Yeah.
Thank you,
And now
James.
it's digits galore. Thank you, Cam Clarke,
This
ladies
was great.
and gentlemen.
And thank you, Mr. Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Such a treat.
I know. What a gas. What a gas. We don't get to hang that much anymore. Conventions here and there. And
And in talking to you,
You know.
I realized we crossed over more than in my until
Yeah.
I verbalized and went, oh,
Yeah.
it's like we were together almost every week or
all over
every
the place.
couple of weeks.
It's so true. It's
you know,
so true.
because it was factory, not in the bad way,
B&B,
but
B&B Studios.
where are you going today?
I'll do our little outro here as well.
Here we go.
Oh, am I needed for this? Or
No.
this is him?
No, this is my time to shine.
Shine.
Well, thank you everybody for watching another episode of Tuned In with Jim Cummings. Today we had Cam Clarke. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. And we are almost at 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. So please, please, please subscribe. We appreciate you all very much. And a very big shout out to our Patreon supporters. Don't forget, you can find bonus content that you can't find anywhere else on Patreon. Thank you to our subscribers. You get episodes dropping nearly a week early as well, so you're the first people to see it. And of course, you can always listen to us on anywhere you get your podcasts. Once again, this was another episode of Tuned In with Jim Cummings. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
That was smooth. Do you have that memorized?
Done it a couple times.